Ever wonder what it takes to live a life creatively? So do we. That's why we're here, to find out what clever people do to succeed in the arts, business, and education. I'm Cecily Korst, and this is the Trailer Talks. We're interviewing artists and educators, musicians, and thought leaders, at home and on the road. So come on, it's going to be a good trip. Hey, welcome to the trailer. Come on in.
Today, we're back in the trailer with Matt Kelly, a digital strategist from Australia who's visiting the US. Let's hear the rest of his story.
Dave and Matt here from the Living Outrageously podcast, and this is our disclaimer. Definitely do not listen to us. We talk smack.
Any outrageous action that you take is entirely of your own choosing, and watching this show, you acknowledge that you are the master of your own destiny.
We are merely two dudes who sit around twice a week recording their stupid ranting conversations.
Did you and Dave grow up together?
Yeah, we did. So I moved into the house next door to him when we were like 12 or 13. And we actually went to different schools, and we went to different universities as well. But we used to play cricket every afternoon. We'd go out in the boat all the time. We used to hang out, and at the end of school, Dave went down the lawyer path and went down to study law, and he was obviously working long hours and learning a lot, which was fine. And I went the different route, right? I went through business school and totally different paths. And we sort of reconnected a couple of years later when we both realised that what we were doing sucked. Neither one of us wanted to go and sit in a cubicle and do the same job day after day. It wasn't who we were, and at our core, it wasn't what we really wanted to do. So we started to talk about technology because that was what we saw as an opportunity to change our focus. People weren't using technology effectively. We were seeing things happen that weren't being utilised. It was like, okay, how can we basically take advantage of the trends that we're watching? So that was sort of our pathway to coming back together and starting Living Outrageously in the first place, which was the first of a few projects we've worked on basically since growing up together.
Do you see working together again in the future?
Yeah, I do. Dave and I are very different in our approach, but we've got a lot of synergies in the way we work together, and we've got skill sets that complement each other.
So what's the most amazing thing that you've learned so far in the US?
I've learned a lot. In terms of the work that I'm doing over here, in sort of marketing and digital technology, a lot of it is stuff that I knew in theory and just hadn't practiced. So there's a lot that I've learned there, but it's not the amazing stuff. I've done a lot in community development since being here and building engaged communities online. And like, as you know, so with the podcast, we sort of did that. And I feel like a few times we got very lucky and we built some stuff that people cared about, and we sort of stumbled our way through it and didn't really think about it strategically. So I've been working with some amazing people at some great companies here up in San Francisco, where we've been really diving into community and what that means. And to me, that's one thing that's really interesting. The other thing that's interesting for me is that I've learned, and it's something that I haven't seen anywhere else in the world, is this whole concept of the sharing economy. In apps like Uber and like Lyft is a new one up there. You guys may not have heard about that in LA yet, but like someone walks out to their own car, signs into an app, they're a cab driver, and they go and pick you up in their own car, and they drive you somewhere, and they drop you off, and you choose how much you want to pay. Like, to me, that's mind-blowing. It's taking this model of, this old model of taxi drivers and making this a way for anyone to make money, and that's super interesting to me. It's sort of like, if you trust someone in your house through Airbnb, then how else can we leverage the materials that we all have? If I go and buy a ladder to complete a task, I don't need that ladder very frequently, so how can we leverage technology to do that? This whole sharing movement is blowing up big right now, and I'm finding that super interesting to watch and really an insightful way of thinking. It's reducing sort of waste and expenditure on things that we don't need and really focusing on making life easier for everyone. So it's interesting.
And I love the way online communities are doing really great work. I started school in Coursera, which is so cool.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but I don't know what the community part of that is, because right now it's just me watching video classes.
Right.
But I know I put up my profile and I was just like, well, other than being hijacked by pirates, I'm doing all right.
Right.
Because who's going to look at that?
Right.
I have no idea.
Right.
But if you're actually creating a community, it's totally different.
It is, yeah.
What do you think the key to that is?
Yeah, so I'm really interested in the way that technology is is really disrupting education at the moment. It's still very light on at the moment. So you're right, you go online to any one of these online platforms, and basically what's happening is students are going in and just watching videos, and that's not a collaborative experience. There's no real incentive right now for the content creators either. So you might be the best professor in the world in your area of expertise, and you're pumping out this content, and people will watch it, and that's great, right? So right now it's still this like push, and I might do something with it. It's not collaborative yet. So I'm excited to see what happens there in terms of the way that students interact with each other, because in essence, the way that the traditional education worked is broken. It's fundamentally broken. And it's broken because the way that we teach right now is very much a preaching environment where, at the end of the day, all you're doing is creating a system where you can compare me to other people. The problem with that is that I'm not finding the same people in my class for the jobs I'm going for, right? I need a unique skill set, and this is where this new economy comes in, and digital and online, where I can do basically anything, right? This has totally democratized my capability, the options for me to pump out content in any direction I want to. So what I really want to know is, if I'm trying to get to a really specific key objective, I want to know that when I start my degree, or when I start studying in the beginning, I've got an exact course to get to that point, right? I don't want to go and study some blanket concept and assume that at the end I'll either get it or I won't, and then I've got to either study more or not, and the sole purpose of that is just to compare me to others. It doesn't really make sense. What I need to know is exactly how to get there, and I think that doing that, going through, stepping through specific disciplines will get us there, and technology is absolutely crucial to doing that, and we can use it to scale as well, so we can use it to make this available to people, not just sitting in the room with us right now, but be able to leverage that concept of micro courses within an overarching course, and really tailoring content based on the objectives of the user. What will be really interesting is when we can collaborate with each other online. It's specific to areas of conversation. So I want to learn about this professor's area of expertise, but I don't just want to know that. I want to know how it's applied. So I want to talk to people who are already doing it in different areas. So I might want to talk to someone who's an expert using that theory in their area of expertise, in their space, right? But then I also want to talk to other students, because I want to know why they're studying it, because there might be a perspective I haven't even looked at yet. There's an online platform play to be done here, and I'm not exactly sure what it is yet, but I am excited to see where it goes. I've spent a lot of time using Udacity, and I've done a couple of courses through there, and it's amazing. It's fascinating how simple it is to get in there and actually do things with it. What will be awesome is when it's adequately recognised, so the content's actually relevant and validated, and also when I can collaborate with others in that space.
Do you see yourself owning your own company?
I do think at some point I will. I'd like to. It's a challenge that I would like to take on. I don't know what that means yet. I don't know what it is. I'm really enjoying the space that I'm in, and I'm learning a lot. The confidence alone that you sort of build when you're in an environment where it really is all on you to make it happen, that's so valuable to me right now. And that's what I'm really, really pushing towards. So is it on the horizon? Yeah, but I don't know what form it's in. The one thing I am excited about, and the concept I like about that, is if I was going to own my own company, it probably wouldn't be in the consulting space. It would be more so around a startup idea or a new method of doing something. That's what I'm excited about. So for me, I'm excited at the way, literally how easy it is to raise money at the moment. I'm seeing it right now in San Francisco, where it doesn't really take much to raise a lot of cash, and that's mind-blowing to me. So that as a kickstart, right, pushes you in the right direction. Incredible. I don't think I need to raise money. I don't have the idea yet that I want to run with, but I do think at some point that I will.
That was a peek inside of Matt's journey thus far. You can find out more about Matt on iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, and at his website, mattkelly.com.au. While you're out surfing, check out thetrailertalks.com. That's our home on the web.
I'm Cecily Korst. Join us for the next road trip.
I can't.
You can't make me.
Okay, there's something I've got nothing. No, I do. I've got it. I've got a moment.
Alright.
Hold on. God.
So actually, you were talking about like four-way stop signs make you crazy.
Yeah, that is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
And then you all sit there and go, who's gonna dare ya?
How do
Sucker.
how do you know? How do you trust a person that they're actually going to do what they're supposed to do? I suppose it's the same with anything, but
Sorry, I didn't know.
We still have stop signs. We just don't have to all go to one single point in the middle where everyone dies.